speaking of hot news, Megan, you want to react to some WWE headlines with me?
Sure.
So, let's just do some WWE news because it keeps piling up because WWE's white hot, as we talked about earlier, and just there's more and more and more news and more mainstream things, appearances from superstars, and just more and more to look forward to. Whenever you go over to the AEW news, it typically just feels really dramatic a lot of the time. And we had a big Wednesday. We're recording this on Friday. This might come out Saturday. I don't know. Time Cop, my favorite movie. So, but yeah, it's Wednesday was an AEW filled show, and it was just dramatic with all the Britt Baker stuff and all of that. So we're going to talk about some WWE here for a bit. Fadeaway Media. And this is via Fadeaway Media, but this is a clip from No Contest Wrestling Podcast, O'Shea Jackson Jr.'s show. And he's talking to Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns doing a few, very few podcast appearances randomly out in the wild recently. So let's watch this clip. This is, so as Fadeaway Media put it, this is the coldest answer ever. When I heard this shit, I was like, dude, I'm so motivated. I'm going 10 times harder this year. Listen to what Roman the GOAT. Are you a Roman guy or are you a Cody Crybaby?
Oh. Can I be both? Because I'm both.
Yeah, I'm a fan of both, but for me, it's one's up forever. But that's just me. But yeah, let's hear what Roman's got to say.
Others as well. Like, what motivates you to keep going at this point, man?
A sick man. Yeah. You know, I got that thing. That drive, that I want more. Always want more. Goalposts go back. Oh, we're in the end zone. Move them back again. Oh, man, we got pretty high. Mm-hmm. There's another level. So I'm always trying to get better. And I just believe this is what I'm supposed to do. The wise man picks me up in the morning. How you doing? I woke up. Everybody else is because I woke up. That's how I look at it.
And then Heyman just like selling it, even though they're just on this podcast, like he doesn't even got to be doing that. But it's real shit. It's real talk from Roman.
All had a chance until I woke up. Today's mine. That's just what it is.
Others as well.
Yeah, you gotta love that. What do you think of that clip there? What's your reaction?
Ooh, I think everybody should feel that way about themselves. Mm-hmm. I think everybody should feel that way about themselves. I think everybody should listen to that video and just take that energy and put it on themselves, because Roman, I feel like he's a really big fish in a small bowl. Mm-hmm. And when it comes down to wrestling content creation, people feel like it's overly saturated, but you will still have those who feel that their content is so different from the others, they're always going to stand out. And when you think of wrestling, there's a whole lot of wrestlers. There's a lot of wrestlers that has his background. They done football before, but you're not going to be able to go up to that man and tell him, wrestling is oversaturated. You're just like the others. What makes you any different than the next person? Like, he knows it, and he's going to make you know it. He's going to make you know that he is far different than the next person. And I've heard that quote's been circulating online, and I even saved it on my phone because I feel like that's pretty much the most motivational thing that you're going to hear from him. So, if you could see him feel that way about himself, what is stopping you from feeling that way about yourself as well? That's my thoughts on it.
No other wrestling quote gets me more amped other than this one.
I swear, like even how Jacob was able to change the trajectory of I Love You Solo to just fought to. He went from praising one man to pretty much praising not only himself, but any family member that has that last name. So there's a powerful dynamic when it comes down to that family, and no one could say otherwise when you think of that whole entire clan from The Rock on down. Even Miss Ava, because Miss Ava, she's taking over NXT too. So even her, she's doing great.
Yeah, Jacob's he's gonna lead his own bloodline here soon. We might have 3-way bloodline warfare or Solo, because if you really think about it, the OG bloodline also has Solo in it. So Jacob's just gonna take that whole thing over, and it's gonna be so awesome. But speaking of like stepping up and standing out, Penta El Cero Miedo comes over from AEW. WWE looks at him as just a huge star. They're talking about him at their town hall meetings, and we're watching videos here on the pod where he's meeting sick kids and he's helping elderly people, and he's just he's selling a boatload of these masks. So we have a quote from him here. He was speaking to Shaquille Majuri, and apologize if I butchered that name, of CBS Sports. And Penta, Nick Khan, everyone's saying they have high hopes for him and they see him as a big bright star. Now, I always thought if they were to bring the Lucha Bros in, Ray Phoenix would be the standout. But look at me. I think Penta is. I'm so happy he came in as a solo first. Things happen for a reason. If they came in as a tag team, wouldn't have been as impactful. Him getting his solo run and then eventually his brother joining him, that will be absolutely brilliant. But here's Penta's quote here, and his reaction to WWE noting that they see something truly special in him. And he says, it's very surprising for me. Last night, someone called me to tell me how many of my masks WWE sold. I said, wow, really? This number? I remember 20 years ago when I started this dream. The most important thing was I never doubted my talent, passion, or anything. Now I'm living my dream. So what do you think about Penta's big debut? What do you think about AEW fumbling guys like this? For instance, like, I know everybody wants to say, oh, WWE takes AEW guys and push them, whatever. But no, they're all in different places. So like Punk and Cody were OG WWE guys, let's be honest. And they're like in the main event picture. You have Penta, who's like mid-upper, sort of like mid-card guy. You have Ethan Page, who's the top of NXT. You have Lexus King, who's killing it, but he's like lower NXT, doing like reality of wrestling shows. So it's not like WWE's just taking these guys, shoehorning them in, and their shows all ex AEW. Even Jade Cargill has a tag title run before she has her big solo run. So I think that's such a cope thing to say and such a cop-out thing to say, is like, oh, WWE's taking AEW guys. They're just literally giving Tony free lessons on what to do with these folk. What do you think about Penta coming in and sort of what I just said?
I used to love watching Penta on AEW. That was like the first place I've ever discovered him, because I've never seen any of his stuff before. But what used to always draw me to him was that little walk that he does, which he did that at AEW, and the chops. I thought the chops was just, it'll wake you up. And I remember a particular tweet or an interview where someone had asked Gunther, was there anyone whose chops he felt was more stronger than his and stuff, and he mentioned Penta. He said, that lives with you, you might have like phantom pains from that. So when I heard that both of the Lucha Brothers was on their way to WWE, I thought, damn, okay. I would like to see it. Then of course the whole issues with Ray Phoenix and his contract and stuff, and so I thought maybe Penta is just going to stick around and stay with his brother. But just to see them start teasing him, I said, okay, good. So he's still coming. His debut was one of the best, I feel, And I could see him getting the title really soon. I saw him eyeing Braun Breaker. They kind of teased that a little bit, so I'm hoping that will be right now they just kind of having him showcase his skills and stuff, but I'm hoping that within the next couple of weeks or so they will find him a feud that they can put him in and stick him to. But again, you can have a piece of gold and you will still chalk it off to the side because it's not shiny enough for you.
Yeah.
And then WWE is going to pick it up and they're going to make it the most valuable piece of gold in the world. And that is what, like you said, that's what they did with Jade. That is what they're doing with Penta.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they're going to do with Saraya, if she decides to come back.
Yeah, well, she's already a maid lady, but
so she said she's not opposed to coming back. So I thought
she will one day.
Yeah.
They always come back.
They always come back. It's something about right now. It's like you said, WWE is on top. And a lot of those people are getting that old itch. They getting them old feelings back. They want to go back to that one ex that they said wasn't good for them, but at the end of the day, they knew that was probably their soulmate, the love of their lives. And a lot of people do want to come back to WWE. And not to say that there's people that is happy where they are. I mean, Mercedes, she reminds us at every opportunity she gets that she is happy where she is. And I believe you, girl. You are happy where you are. Because if I was walking around with 4 belts and a couple of $1 million, I would be happy too.
Hey, you know what they say, Megan?
Sometimes in life, you got to be a hoe.
Her words, not mine. Hey,
because when we talk about the House of Glory, I got some things to say about that too. Because
absolutely. So, Jim Ross says that he has spoken to Triple H after congratulating him on his induction into this year's WWE Hall of Fame. And JR's like, I sent him the text the other day, King, congratulating him. And believe it or not, it was the day after the Rumble. He texted me back. He doesn't forget those that have helped him along the way and those that he respects, and he's doing a great job. What are your thoughts on Triple H going into the Hall of Fame? I know a lot of people are triggered by that for some reason, but he deserves it, no?
Yeah. I mean, when I was a kid, so we're talking 11, 12 years old, there was only a few wrestlers that meant a lot to me during that time because of the characters that they portrayed. One was definitely Stone Cold Steve Austin, because we're talking 2000, 2001, and Triple H. Triple H was that. He was that heel. He was that top guy. Like you love to hate him. Like everything he did, you wanted to root for him, even though you knew what he was doing was bad. You still wanted to root for him. Surprised that he wasn't inducted a lot sooner.
Mm-hmm.
Surprised.
Well, I mean, he's in his DX, but as a solo, he deserves it too.
Which is what I mean.
Yeah.
But I don't know what type of perspective people have on Triple H just by going by that tweet, that quote, believe it or not, he actually texts me back. I don't see Triple H being that type of person that would forget those that, was important to him during his career, or people that he considered friends and stuff. I don't see him as that type of person. Now, I think we all have certain people in our lives that we probably wouldn't if they were on fire, but I don't think you can be blessed the way he has, being in the position that he's in, by holding those type of grudges. So you know, I'll be tuned in. I'll be watching it. He'll get a pop from my house because I definitely feel like he deserves it. I feel like China deserves it too.
Yeah, she should get one as well. Yeah, solo dolo.
I've been saying this for years now.
Yeah.
China needs to be inducted. It's nice that they're adding her into the games and stuff, but she needs to be inducted as well. She has done I can't even think of a bigger word than humongous, but she has done a huge amount of she made a really big difference in the women's division to where you can have women like Bianca Belair, have women like Jade Cargill, Jazz, Jordan Grace.
Grace, I was just gonna say, and Jazz should be in the Hall of Fame too. For fuck's sake,
she should be in the Hall of Fame too. So just women of that physique, you know, and even Rhea, because Rhea wants to be in the men's Royal Rumble. I said, go ahead, throw Rhea in the men's Royal Rumble. She can handle it.
Yeah,
I feel she can handle it.
She could toss Tozawa out. I think she already pinned him on a Raw once.
She did.
Yeah.
And she riptide Dominique. So, you know, give her a chance. I think she could do it. But I hope that one day soon they do induct China. She deserves to be inducted.
Me as well. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for WWE news. We got some AEW news here.